everybody, Susie here, and today I have an awesome guest, Shannon Cairns from the frugalfootdoc.com. So she is a doctor. She has 3 kids, and she started a blog, and now it is starting to make a really good income and growing. So Shannon, if you want to tell us your story, kind of how you started and how this blog is now taking steam, we would love to hear about it.
Yes. So I think the first time that I really learned about blogging and that people were maybe making money from it was when I was pregnant with my first child a little over 6 years ago.
Wow.
And so I started looking for information and I was finding all these mom blogs and then, following them on Instagram and things like that. And I was like, oh, okay, they're making money because they're recommending products and they have these huge followings and people are paying them to recommend products and things like that. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, I wonder if I could do that. Because once I was pregnant, even though I was a doctor, I was like, man, I kind of want to stay home with this baby. That was like one of my first thoughts. And so I was just kind of like, I wonder if that's possible. But I think the fear of starting a blog, because it was kind of a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just keep reading them. I won't start them. So then by the time I was like, okay, I think I have the courage to put myself out there. I'm gonna try to start a blog. Was 2017, March of 2017. So it's like right at 3 years now.
Yeah.
And somehow I found you. I think probably Pinterest. I'm thinking probably Pinterest. But I had thought about it for so many years. My son was like 2.5 or 3 by then. And I was pregnant with my second child, or maybe she was already born. I can't remember. I have 3, so it's like, it's all.
You get so confused.
But by this time, I had been thinking about it for so long, I was just ready to get it done. And I wanted it set up so I could start blogging like that day. And so that's when I found your course and I was like, oh, it's a whole plan. And I was like, looks good. I'm going to do it.
Awesome, Shannon. So how did you decide on your niche? What are you blogging about? And how did that idea come to you?
So I started out, it's funny because I thought it was going to be super easy to be a blogger.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'll just write about mom topics and about our kids, and everyone will want me to promote their things and pay me lots of money. It'll be so easy. Like everyone will follow me on Instagram.
Everybody.
Yes, everyone. And then, they'll all come over from Instagram to my blog.
Right.
And
yeah.
it'll be so easy. That's what I thought, because I followed all these moms and I was like, there's probably not that many people doing it. So, my life's so interesting. Literally, this is like what I was thinking.
That's okay. We all think that, which it's true, but yeah, it's good to find a little niche. So what is your niche?
Right. So now I blog about personal finance and our debt-free journey. And that started about last March was when I really redesigned my site. So it's been about a year I've figured out my niche. Before then, I was writing just about my life with really no purpose.
Yeah.
And so when I started to think man, my blog's not really going anywhere. I should have listened to all the advice about picking a niche and defining my target audience.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about what story do I have that's unique? And our family has over $500,000 of debt.
Wow.
Which is unique.
That's a lot. Wow. So how did you accumulate so much debt?
So my husband and I are both doctors, and luckily his family helped him through school, so we don't have 2 doctor loans. He had a little bit, but not a ton. But we had about close to $400,000 of student loan debt. And then we didn't even really know because we weren't paying attention at this time.
Yeah.
And when we graduated from residency, instead of getting jobs and paying it off, we financed a practice and started our own practice and took out more debt on top of that. So we probably at one point had like, yeah, we probably had close to $1 million of debt and didn't even know.
Wow.
We weren't paying attention. And so eventually, even though we were doctors and we went to school for so long,
Yeah.
we found ourselves like we didn't know if we could pay our rent. We couldn't buy groceries. I was pregnant with my third child and actually had just given birth to him in 2018. And I had like severe postpartum depression because of our financial struggles and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have to do something. So we started Dave Ramsey, and we do all of his stuff. And we did a lot of really weird, crazy things like selling our cars. And we moved from a 3,000 square foot house to a 1,000 square foot house with a family of 5. And we did a lot of unique things. And so I just started sharing that
Awesome.
on my blog. And in while I'm sharing it, I'm also helping other people,
Right.
motivating them that they can do it, even though it might seem impossible. You know, $500,000 of debt. Really, at one point, I thought bankruptcy is our only way out.
Yeah.
Like, this is impossible. So I'm helping a lot of people of every income, not just doctors, but people that think they just can't do it. Motivate them, learn to budget, show them how they can do some weird stuff to cut their expenses, and just kind of like sharing that story.
That is so touching, man. Wow. And I read something on your About Me page where you said, like, how do we allow 18-year-olds or like 19-year-olds to take on so much debt
Yes.
when they're just starting? Like, yeah, it just blows your mind. Like, wow.
And I think about that a lot with me being a doctor. If someone had said, like, oh, you have to pay cash to go to medical school, I probably would have thought harder about it than just being like, oh, I'll just take out loans and go to med school. If I
Yeah.
have kids later and decide to stay home, you know, whatever. I won't worry about the fact that I have all this debt and everything.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I think I would have thought harder about it and maybe not even gone to medical school, because I would have thought maybe I'll want to stay home with my kids. I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
So,
tried to work harder to find a way to pay for it instead of just
right.
signing on the dotted line and whatever.
Yeah, I like, it doesn't seem like a real thing, I guess, when you sign up for all that debt, you're like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be later. So,
Yeah.
wow. So what does your blog do? How are you getting traffic and monetizing it?
So the main way that I get traffic is Pinterest. But I will say that even after blogging for 3 years, I still only get like maybe 20,000 page views a
Hmm.
month. So
Hmm.
it's still, I have a lot of work to do on traffic.
Yeah.
But because I figured out product creation, I'm still able to monetize it and grow an email list with low, what would most people would consider low traffic, because
Yes. Yeah.
ads is definitely not the way that I make money on my site with that low of traffic.
Yeah.
So my main product is an ebook and kind of like a debt payoff planner that walks people through being completely overwhelmed and helping them to really create a plan that'll work for their family.
That's awesome. I love that. Like, there are a lot of people think of blogs as these high traffic websites, and the only way that to really monetize is to get onto a really good ad network. Um, And that is a strategy to monetize your blog, but there's also the opposite strategy of getting lower traffic but higher conversions and working on your email list and creating a product. So with, like you said, around 20,000 page views, which is very small on like the grand scheme
Mhm.
of blogging, you're making 2,000 plus per month,
Right.
which that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yes. And I'm in a really competitive niche, personal
Yeah.
finance. So I might not ever be able to rank page one for a lot of stuff on Google or anything like that. And there's a lot of pins out there about budgeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just really focusing on how you can make like a unique product and tailor it to your story and get people to really latch onto you and your story is really important.
That is really awesome advice because you have such a great story. You're both doctors, over $500,000 in debt. Like, guys who are watching this, or mamas who are watching this, not just guys, mostly my audience is moms. um, if you have a story that goes along with your blog niche, it can be a game changer because this sets you apart from all the other personal finance budget bloggers.
Yes.
Awesome. So what is your Pinterest strategy? People are always interested in like, what do you do on Pinterest? What's working for you?
So what doesn't work is not being consistent, which I'm bad at that because like I'll have a really good month and my page views will be climbing and then I'll get distracted and I'm like, okay, I need to do this or work on a product or something, and I just stop
Yeah.
penning completely for like a month. And so that doesn't work. And I want to get better at that, but definitely I've even before this whole new Pinterest update with the fresh new pins,
Yeah.
um, making new pins definitely does work, and it worked before.
Yeah.
So I think if you just concentrate on maybe just like one new pin a day, you don't have to get so overwhelmed with trying to make like 50, but just take a minute and make like one a day. I think that's a good way to start. And I have Tailwind, and so I have like all these board lists set up, and so usually I'll like create one new pin and then I schedule it out
Hmm.
to go out like every day. But now it's like telling you don't do that, so
Right.
I got to work on that on Pinterest.
Right.
That's like my next thing. But one thing that's been working for me really well now that I have my product is Facebook ads,
Ooh.
because I offer my product as a tripwire,
Okay.
which is a discounted. I know you know this, but
No, no, no. Explain it, please. Yeah. What is a tripwire?
a discounted, your product is offered to your subscribers. So they put their email in and then they get, wait, this is a one-time, very special offer just for you, for a new subscriber. And it's very discounted. And so it's almost like an impulse decision for them to buy it. And that, if you do it correctly on Facebook ads, can cover your ad spend
Yeah.
every day. So like yesterday I spent $15 on ads and I made like 68
Wow. That's
dollars. So
awesome.
it's like a four time return on your
Wow.
ad spend. So that's working really well for me right now. And as someone who's always struggled with organic traffic,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice because there are other ways to like get people, and it's helped grow my list a lot too for free,
Yeah.
even though I'm paying for the ads, but I'm getting the money back and it's growing my list big
That's
time.
awesome. So, how big is your current Facebook page? Does that help with your Facebook ads, or you don't think so?
I don't think so because I've never paid any attention to my Facebook page. Honestly, I only have like maybe 700 followers now on Facebook. Pinterest has definitely been my biggest organic thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing is that I installed that pixel, the Facebook pixel,
Mm-hmm.
on my site about a year ago. So it's just getting smarter and like
That's
collecting all this information about people visiting my site. And you just kind of have to like trust Facebook with all their data that they know how to find the people that are going to buy from you. And when I started out, I just started with like $5 a day.
yeah.
And like that first day, I was like, oh, cool. Like I made my money back. And so I just kept letting it run and kind of like increasing the budget. So
Awesome. Do you split test different ads, or you just have this one ad that's working for you?
I just have one that's working for me right now, and it's just like a lookalike subscriber. So I feel like it's really safe.
Yeah.
And I do want to experiment, but I'm taking like a couple courses and stuff like that on Facebook ads right now to learn, because I don't want to get too crazy.
Right. Right. Right.
Especially since I'm just starting to really make a good income with my blog. I want to use that money to pay off debt.
Yes.
So I
That.
don't want to get too crazy yet, but it's nice because you can scale it really slowly with Facebook ads. So
I love that. That's so awesome. So proud of you of
thank you.
experimenting with Facebook ads, because a lot of people find that very daunting and scary. And I'm glad, even though your blog is small, you're still doing this and you're growing your list for free.
Yes,
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, are you still a doctor? How do you manage all this, and what are your future? Because I know you shared something with me in the beginning.
Yes. So I am no longer practicing, but I do work in the practice because my husband and I own the practice together.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of the finances, like paying the bills, writing the checks, and just like managing the employees and things like that. And then the rest of the time I come in like 2 days a week and do that while our kids are in like a little part-time Mother's Day out thing.
Yeah.
Our two youngest, our oldest is in kindergarten. And then that allows me to be home with them, which is something I've always wanted.
Yeah.
And that urge to stay home with them only got stronger when we had the second and then the third.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really excited that the blog has allowed me to convince my husband finally that this was a good decision for us.
Yeah, because you can see the growth now, right?
Yes, definitely. At first he was like, I don't know what you're doing.
Oh my gosh. But
It's like a thing. Like, I'm going to make money doing this. He's like, okay.
prove our husbands wrong. We can do this. We can
Yes.
be awesome moms and start blogs and like just amazing.
Yes.
So what I want to ask is like, how do you manage it all? How do you find time to blog and be with your kids? You know, a lot of my moms, they start out and it's a little overwhelming. So do you have any tips of when you blog or what works for you?
Yes. So I do get up early. So I get up at 4 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I let myself sleep in like 5:36 on Tuesday, Thursday to like give myself a break, unless I'm working on like a big project and I want to get up early and do it. But I found, well, now that I'm not, because that's a recent change where I'm not seeing patients anymore. So now that I'm not going to be seeing patients, I will have a little bit of time while the kids are at their school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm going to change my schedule a little bit, but I found that just like 2-3 hours in the morning, if you're really focused on the right things, then it's plenty of time to grow a blog if you're patient. It might not be like 6 months, you know, and you're making money, but it took me 3 years of waking up early and just experimenting. And I try to focus on, like, if I need to do writing or creating something, anything that takes my full concentration, I'll do that early in the morning while the kids are asleep. And then in the afternoon, when they're supposed to be taking their nap, but they might not be, but that's when I can do things that are kind of easy, like make pens for Pinterest and things like that. So things that I can take a break doing if I get interrupted by them.
Exactly.
So I find ways to fit little things like that into the afternoons. But if I need my full concentration, I just have to get up early. So yeah. And I know that won't be forever. They'll get older and I'll have more time during the day to work on it. If it continues to grow and be like my full-time job, then, you know, when they get older and get in school, I'll have more time during the day to work on it.
Exactly. So now, like when you have little kids at home, it's the hardest time. If you can put a little bit of time in now, like I know, like you said, you have to be patient, then the blog will just slowly start growing and you can experiment. And that age on Google is really valuable. So then when the kids do go to school full time, you already have a strong foundation that you can just build off of.
Yes.
That's awesome. Golly, so I had this awesome question and then it's like, poof, it went away. Oh yeah. It went back. It's back. All right. So like the top 5 things that you would recommend to new bloggers. They're just watching this. They're kind of scared starting. What are the most important 5 things that has helped you grow your blog to now 2,000 plus per month?
Okay. Well, I think at first when you start, you need to focus on one thing. Like, I want to talk about a lot of things, time management for moms, like different things, meal planning.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not, you know, I'm just in the infancy still of making money. And so I've found that it's better for me to just focus on debt payoff and budgeting articles because that's going to sell my product.
Yes.
So
very smart.
the more blog posts I have about that, the more opportunities for people to get on my list and for people to buy my product. And then the next thing I plan to do is to make a course all based on that. And then I'm like, once that gets going, then I can branch out and do other things. But I think in the beginning, I was trying to talk about so many different things and like nothing was working.
Yeah.
So even though it's hard sometimes to pick like a really specific niche, because it's so fun to write about a lot of different stuff, if you want to make money faster, I think just focusing on that.
Yeah.
That's definitely one thing. And I didn't want to do it like niche down. Everyone always talks about niche down, but so that's definitely one thing. Starting your email list. I know you talk about that in your course, and I did not listen because I thought everyone's just gonna follow me on Instagram.
Everybody's coming.
And I don't even like, I act like I have like a big Instagram following. I only have like 6,000 Instagram followers. So I just thought it was going to be so easy to grow that. And I remember once I started figuring out affiliate marketing, I was like, man, if only I had like a list of people that I could send this offer to and they would all see it. And I was like, oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, I need that email list.
That's why I was supposed to grow an email list. So the first 2 years, I didn't really grow an email list. Like I just had like subscribe here on my blog, but I didn't do any lead magnets, freebies, anything like that. And I'm like, man, it could be huge right now. But over the last year, I've grown it to almost 10,000.
That's awesome.
So it is growing. I'm just like, man, it could be so much bigger if I had started soon.
That's okay. At least you did start, and 10,000 is legit. That's awesome.
So that's two things. Yeah, and I just think like just trying not to get distracted by so many courses and just different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been distracted by a lot of stuff.
It's easy.
Yeah. So just focus on what's really going to make you money.
Right.
And that's really what you have to do, because it's really easy to get distracted by
exactly
big thing and all that stuff. So
I highly recommend, like, if you purchase a course, go through the course, actually, and finish it. Like, it's so easy just to keep buying courses, but go through them and implement. That is where the real change is going to happen. Not just you buying the course and sitting on it and now I feel like I've solved my problem. No, you have to actually go through and implement. So yeah, that's definitely awesome.
And it does work if you implement it. And you just have to do it. And it just takes, you have to be patient with blogging.
Yeah.
It's very rare when there's people that just blow up overnight, unless they have like a marketing degree, maybe. They know already, how to do all that stuff. Cause you have to learn marketing, you have to learn sales, like all these things. So.
You learn so much when you start your blog, where the content creation, your voice, how to react to customers, customer service once you get all these students. It's a lot of fun. All right, Shannon, so where can we find you and where can we find this awesome lead magnet that you're talking about?
All right, it's thefrugalfootdoc.com, and I'm the Frugal Foot Doc on all social media and on YouTube, just Shannon Cairns. And my free budget planner is, if you go to thefrugalfootdoc.com/CBTK, it used to be called Complete Budget Toolkit. It's just called a budget planner now, but
I'll link to it so that people can find it easily.
Yeah. So, and you can check that out and see what my tripwire looks like and stuff, like the sales page and everything, if you want to create a tripwire of your own. So.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah. So again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this. And we can't wait to check out your blog and hear how your progress goes as you grow your blog to bigger and bigger and really impress your husband.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you, Shannon.